So it's kind of odd. Peers were always hard for me to interact with when I was growing up. And I honestly can't say why it was so different for me. I just feel like it was hard for me to relate to my age group. So I loved talking to adults and younger kids. So the one thing that I always tried to do, my mother kind of introduced this concept to me. I would always do things kind of on my own. And then one day, my mom started noticing like I was coming home and I had like cuts and scrapes and stuff on my knees and my arms. And she always says, Taylor, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I'm playing on the playground and, just doing my own thing. And, sometimes I fall and I scrape my knee or something. And she goes, well, what did you do? Did you go to the nurse? And I said, why would I go to the nurse? I can easily go to the bathroom, wash off my cut, and then get a Band-Aid when I come home. It's no big deal. Like to me, that was the logical response. And she goes, Taylor, you have to tell somebody when you're hurt. And I always said, but why? That's so dumb that they're not going to do anything for me that I can't do for myself. And then she said, she made one statement that has stuck with me my whole life. And I have used it ever since for myself and all other autistic people I talk to. She goes, well, Taylor, have you ever tried pretending to be like the other kids? And I said, what? She goes, what happens when they hurt themselves? And I go, they cry. And then someone comes and helps them. And she goes, try that next time. When you get hurt, cry. So I remember I was on the playground and I scraped my knee. I'll never forget it. I was there and I sat down on the ground. I looked at my knee and there was some blood that was coming to my knee. And I waited and I was like, okay, I need to start crying. So I started welling up some tears in my eye and I started, rubbing my eye to get it more watery. It's like, okay, there are the tears. Now I got to start crying. So then I started making that noise that all the other kids do, like, and I was trying to, act it. And then one of my friends goes, Taylor's hurt. He's crying. He never cries. So they ran and got a teacher. This teacher comes out and she's like, oh my God, Taylor never cries. So she went to get the nurse. And the nurse comes out to the playground and she's like, Taylor, what happened? And I'm like, I hurt my knee. So she got me up. We went to the nurse's office. I got to be in the nurse's office. She cleaned my cut. She put a Band-Aid on me and she gave me a sucker. And I remember sitting there eating my sucker. And in my head, I went, this is how it works. I may not be like my peers, but I have to pretend to be like them in order to fit in. And at the time, it didn't hit me like that was wrong or that was a backwards way of thinking. I was just like, that's what I have to do. And so from that point forward, I've always told other autistic people, and I tell myself this all the time, you are about to become an Oscar, Golden Globe award-winning actor or actress because we have to pretend to fit in with our neurotypical peers in order to fully have social interaction. So the one thing I tell people when you meet someone who's autistic and they say, oh, well, I couldn't tell they're autistic, or, oh, they have mild autism. It's mild for you, not for them. I still have meltdowns. I still have problems. I still have problems with sensory overload. I still have issues with my OCD tendencies. I still have those things, but I have learned to mask them when I'm with my neurotypical peers. So the thing I tell people when it comes to social interaction with autistic individuals, have some grace, because as easy as it may seem and as free floating as it seems to you, they're having to do twice the work just to talk to someone, because not only do I have to learn to try and get a little bit better eye contact, but I have to try and stay on topic